Auzu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear students. Welcome to week number 6, recorded lecture number 17. Well, today we shall be covering employment interviews 2. This is the second recorded lecture on employment interviews. So let's move forward. Well, we shall be focusing on hiring process, hiring or placement interviews today. We have already covered 3 types of hiring or placement interviews in our last recorded lecture. So today we begin with the 4th type, that is sequential interviews. Well, in a sequential interview, you meet individually with 2 or more interviewers one on one over the course of several hours or days. For example, you are called for sequential interviews. First, you go and have one on one interview with head of your department who has more focus on your technical skills. The interview that your departmental head has is more focused on technical skills that are required for that particular department, right? Then after an hour or two, you may have another interview with, say, a human resource representative, human resource manager, or maybe human resource assistant manager, right? So that interview that you are going to have with human resource personnel is going to be broader. Now it will no longer remain focused on the technicalities only, right? It can cover, like salary related issues, it can cover timings related issues, it can cover job scope, and future goals related questions in it. For example, you may meet with human resource representatives, your hiring manager, and potential future supervisors and colleagues in your division or department. As I have already covered this point with the help of an example, that maybe one interview is with your colleague, second can be with HR, or third can be with somebody else as well, right? Well, these all interviews can be conducted in the same on the same day, or they may be conducted on different days, but there will be actually a sequence among all these interviews, usually starting with the junior or departmental level interviews, then going towards the higher level, towards more experienced persons in that company. Well, you must listen carefully and respond positively to all interviewers, right? Well, since most of the questions will be different, but many questions will get repeated in those sequential interviews. So you must not get irritated that I answer to the same question yesterday and to the same questions the day before yesterday. There may be 2 to 3 4 questions that may get repeated. They may be very typical sort of questions. So you should be listening to them very carefully, and you should treat each interview as a separate individual interview, and you should respond to the interviewers positively instead of getting irritated and you know well, promote your qualifications to each one. Don't assume that any interviewer knows what was said in a previous interview. Keep your responses fresh even when reporting yourself many times over. I have discussed this point in detail with the previous point. Well, subsequent interviews also tend to be more in depth than first interviews, which means that you need to be even more prepared and know even more about the company. As I said, usually the junior level interviews will be in the beginning, and as you have the next level of interview, you will come across more experienced and higher position people of that company. So usually they are more in depth and even more tricky. So you mentally need to be prepared for all those types of uh, questions and interviews. Well, going ahead with the next type of interview, that is video interviews, right? Well, video interviews, in this era of technology, and particularly uh, for last 2 years, like 2019 and now in 2020, because of this pandemic, that's this COVID-19, maybe these video interviews have become even more common, right? Especially for the jobs, that are work from home jobs. So video interviews have become even common. Even before this, COVID-19, video interviews had become very common because of distance and because of many other things. Previously, to some extent, telephonic interviews uh, you know, would be taken and given, but telephonic interviews, audio interviews, only voice interviews, they did not capture interviewees non-verbal, and that part was missing. Whereas on the video interviews, the part is not missing, and to a great extent, uh, you know, those non-verbal facial expression, gestures, postures, and many other things can be observed. So, one way video interviewing enables a candidate to respond to a list of prescripted questions prepared by the hiring organization. Well, this is not that much common. Well, this is not that much common in Pakistan so far, but of course, uh, it doesn't take long to, you know, adopt new things for us. And many of you may be applying abroad and working for organizations that are in different parts of the world. So, in this case, the organization shares a list of questions with the candidates, and the candidates are required to answer those questions and make a video of that. Well, in that video, they are required to answer those questions in the sequence preferably, and then they will be sending that video to the organization. So the organization representative, when and if they consider appropriate, they will listen to the video, and on the basis of that video, they will analyze the candidate who has made that video. Well, when convenient, the candidate creates a video recording of the answer. So this is convenient for the candidate, and it's also convenient for the for the company representatives, that they can uh, watch that video when according to their convenience. Well, second type of video interviews are two-way video interviewing, is typically conducted through video chat, right? That was, according to the first one way was according to applicant's convenient. He or she makes the video and sends to the company, and according to their convenience, the company, watches the video and analyzes the candidate. Now, in this two-way video, that is through a video chat, right? They can use anything, like they can use Skype, they can use uh, Zoom, they can use Google Meet, or even WhatsApp video call, or they can use any other uh, media that has this video option, right? So usually it is through video chat, and uh, at a specific time, the interviewer or the interviewers ask the question, and the candidate has to be present at that time, and he or she has to respond to the questions. Well, a key advantage of two-way interviewing is that it provides an interactive forum enabling hiring companies to better assess a candidate's communication skills, body language, and personality. Well, one way is also considered quite important, but in that case, it's still that live interaction is missing, right? But in two-way, while the candidate gives interview, the, 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 the interviewers or the interviewing panel can see him or her live, and they can note non-verbal and communication skills better. And wherein if have any doubts, so they can ask another question to clarify that doubt, right? In video that was recorded, if they have any doubts now, they cannot get it clarified then and there. They may contact the candidate later. But in this two-way video, if there are any doubts, or if there are any confusions, or if there any further explanation is required, that can be taken and that can be given on the spot. So this is how it is it is better than a one-way video interviewing. Well, we have covered different types of interviews. Now, let's have a look at some basic things that candidates must do before the interview, right? The interview preparations they are required to make before they actually appear in an interview, before they go for to face the interview questions. Well, one thing, the candidates must ensure professional phone techniques, right? Now, let me elaborate it. Like, there are a few points that I personally commonly observe in our society. Number one, that that though it has decreased now, that your cell phone has uh, two SIMs in it, right? And you are using two different service providing companies, and you have included one of the cell number for your job application. Now, when you received a call from the employer, you were busy on the other SIM, and that was a very long discussion. Maybe you were talking to a friend or to a family member, and usually employers won't call you again and again. So please, the number that you give to your employer, keep it free most of the time. Secondly, the battery, right? Your battery should not drain at least during working hours. That you overused your mobile, and your battery is drained, and now your cell phone goes off. Now, if they contact, your cell phone is off. Third thing, if you give a landline number, right, then it's important both for you and for your family member or whoever attends phone at your home. Like, there should be some specific details that should be taken. For example, name of the caller. Now, it's not only enough, then you also need to know, maybe a telephone operator calls from the company, so it's not important to know the telephone operator's name, right? So the company name should be taken. Then who wants to talk to you, his or her name and designations should be taken, preferably his or her extension, telephone extension should be noted down, or his or her preferred time to call should also be noted down, right? Now suppose if I called you from NAD University and a servant at your home answered the phone, and when you return home your servant tells, well, somebody somebody Muhammad Farid from NAD called and he wanted to talk to you. Now how will you reach me? You do not know my department, you do not know my extension, you do not even know my complete name and designation, right? So ensure that the phone, if it is a landline, that you give that you write on your resume or on your CV, ensure that you know the phone attending techniques, and you know those in your family members or your servants who answer the phone, they also know these techniques, and you have told them that if there is any call, then this information should be noted down. And children should not answer the phone, because they will not be able to take the techniques, and they will not be aware of the phone techniques. Next, it is cleaning up digital dirt, right? Your potential employers definitely screen candidates' online presence using Google and social media sites such as Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. Well, so first thing, your these social websites, being an educated person, being a sensible person, it should not have any dirt, right? It should not have anything substandard. It should not have anything, hatred for others. It should not have anything, that is not worth sharing with the, you know, sensible people. But in case, like maybe because of immaturity or because of some other reason, if there is any such dirt on your social media, you need to remove it, you know, ahead. Otherwise, you can be in a trouble. Like according to Career Builder survey, 49% hiring managers who screen candidate social media sites do not hire some applicants because of the following reasons. Number one, provocative or inappropriate photographs, videos, or information. Number two, B, content about drinking or doing drugs. Actually, sometimes, youngsters, they do not use drugs, but just for show off, they may be doing so. So that can be harmful to your career even. C, discriminatory comments related to race, religion, and other protected categories. So, no hatred for other religions, for other races, linguistic groups, or sects, no such thing. Criticism of previous employers or colleagues, that again is viewed negatively. That if you could criticize previous employer or colleagues on your social media websites, you would do the same for this organization when you have some disagreement. And then poor communication skills, that what you write on social media, usually social media users are careless about their communication skills. But according to this Career Builder survey, some hiring managers even note that. So means we the prospective candidates should be even careful about that, all that usually we do not consider important. Well, next and very important thing is researching the target company. Well, there are a few things that I'll discuss in general before moving to these specific points. Well, one thing is researching the target company when you apply for it. And second, And to me, more important thing is that why should you wait for the last minute or for the last few days to research about the company? That is not going to help you to that extent. What you must do from today, you should know your prospective employers, the companies where you can be hired, and you should start researching or reading about that companies, knowing about that companies, talking to people about that companies, because still you have around 2 years or maybe 1.5 year uh, before you start applying for the jobs, because within a week you will not be able to know about all the companies that hire food engineers or telecom engineers or you know materials engineers or uh, as a matter of fact other sub uh, engineering fields where you belong to, like automotive motive engineering or all that. So you should know about the companies, and now every week maybe on weekend you should uh, spare some time and you should visit the target companies websites. You should know more about them. If you get an opportunity to visit some expos where those companies bring their products, then you should visit the those exhibitions if they are held, and maybe you should also join their Facebook pages of the companies. You will get updates about them. So instead of waiting for the last minute that okay, after I apply for the job then I'll start reading about the companies, I think that's going to be a bit late. So you must start knowing about the companies, researching about the companies, where uh, who are your prospective employers, where there are possibilities that you will be employed. So you must start knowing about them, you must start reading about them. That definitely is going to help you, right? So this is something general, but these points that are there in this PPT, they are specific to once you have applied for the company, one or two companies, and instead of just waiting for the call, fine, and instead of wasting your time, you can research about the company for which you have applied, right? So internet for important company data, you can use internet as a source for uh, important company data. You can visit their websites, as I have already said. Usually they have enough information there. Well, search the potential employer's website, news sources, like if there is some magazine or if there is some journals or trade journal and industry directories. These are the sources that can give you information about the company. Unearth information about the job, the company, and the industry, right? The job, specific job description, right? If you are going to work as an junior automotive engineer, then you should be knowing what are responsibilities, right? Of course you may not know that in a day. You can remain in contact with your seniors. You can start reading job advertisement that are published in newspapers or on websites or through other sources, right? You should be knowing about the company as we have been discussing, and about the industry. Like for example, automotive is an industry, and within that industry, like Honda is one company, Toyota is second, Kia is third, Suzuki is fourth, so on and so forth, right? So you need to know about industry, about the company, and about the job. That will definitely help you in your interviewing process. Well, learn all you can about the company's history, mission and goals, size, geographic locations, and number of employees. Check out its customers, competitors, culture, management structure, reputation in the community, financial condition, strengths and weaknesses, and future plans, as well as the names of its leaders. A good place to check is the About Us section on its website. Well, analyze the company's advertising. It's only website is not enough, so you can see their advertisements as well. Examine the company's ads and promotional material, including sales and marketing brochures, right? They can also give you a reasonable insight about that company. Will also try to locate inside information, right? And how you can get inside information. This is the information that usually is not shared on their websites, but you need to get it through somebody who's working in that organ for that organization, right? So you can use social media sources such as LinkedIn and Twitter, right? And through that you can get in touch with the maybe people working in that company, right? You like the company on Facebook and comment shrewdly on the organization's status updates and other posts. You can also read the post. You can sometimes post, add comments, or you know, but that should be very intelligently you should be posting. Try to connect with someone who is currently employed by the company but not working in the immediate area where you wish to be hired. So, if you are trying to do this all in the last week or a week prior to your interview, that may not be that much fruitful. So, I would say that you must start thinking and finding your contacts and developing a professional rapport with the people working in your specific area or area of specialization, and even when and if possible, having meetings with them, maybe through telephone or maybe through some other digital sources, and when and if possible even meeting them in person. And the more interaction you have with the professionals, the better you know about the current situation of your industry and of different companies, and you also know about specific job descriptions that you may be holding in future, right? Now, during the interview, there are a few things that you should be doing during the interview. That is, number one, control your body movement, right? Now, what do we mean by control your body movement? When as you enter the room, interviewer's room, please do not take the chair yourself. Wait for the interviewers to offer you a chair, right? And once you take a chair, sit in upright position. What is upright position? Well, your back should touch the chair back and your legs should be straight down, right? And if the chair has armrest, you can place your hands on both of the armrest, but please do not put your hands on the table. Some of the interviewers may be doing so, but being an applicant, you should be doing. Second, exhibit good postures, right? Like sit erect, as I have already said, lean forward slightly, right? Sit erect is the position that I have mentioned you, that your back touching the chair back, and then placing your hands on the armrest, usually chairs have, and then your feet are also straight and you're in erect position, and you lean little forward towards the interviewers, right? Well, practice appropriate eye contact, right? And if it is a panel interview, then try to maintain eye contact not only with the the person who asks you the questions, but also with everyone who is part of the panel, right? Yes, you should be maintaining more eye contact with the person who asks you that specific question, but while answering the question, you should also maintain eye contact with everyone around. Listen attentively, right? In most of the cases, the question is something different and your answer is something different. It's not because you could not answer, it is because you did not listen carefully. You were not attentive. The, the interviewers asked you something different and your reply was something different. So please listen attentively, right? Turn off your cell phone or other electronic devices, right? It's highly recommended. You know, if your turn cell phone rings during the interview, that is a formal meeting and of course very important in your professional career, that would, give an impression that you are not serious or you do not know the manners of formal meeting, right? Be confident. Now, being confident means you are neither less than average confident, like below the confident. You are neither confused nor overconfident, right? Overconfident people would portray it in their postures and gestures, like they would sit in a chair with their legs across. Of course, that is overconfident, being an applicant, right? They would place their hands on the table. They would have arrogance during the interview. That is overconfident, right? So please do not be overconfident. Neither be confused that there are others who, uh, you know, who lack confidence and they are shivering and they are confused. So neither be, uh, you know, overconfident nor be confused. So you should be confident. That is what is desired. Will sound enthusiastic and interested, right? That uh, your answers, your stress, intonation, and pitch, they all should communicate that you are enthusiastic and interested in that particular job, and you are also sincere. Your expressions and they are not fake. Well, thank you very much. Take a good care of you. In the next recorded lecture, we will cover the typical questions that are asked in different types of interviews, and we will also learn how to answer those questions effectively. So, please do take a very good care of you. Allah Hafiz.